Hello, all. Welcome back to the campfire. Kept you waiting, huh? Okay, I had to get that reference out of the way, but welcome to my season 2 review of Are You Afraid of the Dark? I've been liking the show so far, and I've been liking the tale so far too. Though I think season 2 had less more good episodes compared to season 1, but overall, I did like this season overall, but I did like the first season better. Now, since watching these season 2 episodes, my opinions on the first season's episodes have changed. And I think, honestly, there might be a new worst episode, for me, in my opinion. But not only that, some cool special episodes that I want to mention as well. There are a few that I've watched semi-blind over the course of the years I'm here, and some blind ones that I haven't watched yet. So, without further ado, even though I did like season 2, and I think season 1 is better, but we still got to tell all the tales from this season. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to my top 13 episodes for season 2, and I hope you do look forward to seeing my reviews. Alright, let's get to the campfire and start rating my episodes for season 2. Alright, our list begins. Oh boy, this is unexpected. But let's start at number 13, The Tale of Old Man Cochrane. Now, you may be thinking, why is this my least favorite episode? Okay, let's do this properly and sarcastically. The premise is that two kids move into a new neighborhood. They get invited by the kids on the block to play hide and seek in a graveyard. However, as the story progresses, we learn more about the truth about Old Man Cochrane. Now, up to this point, it looked like a good episode. And then, guess what? At the end of the episode, they reveal the twist, but there's no resolution. The story feels incomplete. Like, what? What were they thinking? Dude, like, huh? You're gonna do a 30-minute episode where the twist gets revealed near at the end of the tale, actually. And then you're gonna throw us all away with no resolution. We don't know what happens to the kids. We don't know what happens to the new kids. We don't know what happens. Like, there's no resolution. From what I understand. Like, what? This episode just feels incomplete. It just feels incomplete. All the other tales up to now were complete, but this leaves us on a huge twist with no resolution. Like, what? What? Now, this is an episode that honestly puts the Hungry Hounds into shame. Like, the Hungry Hounds is actually better, even though I think it's still the worst episode of season 1. But it's definitely not the worst episode I've seen. This leaves us with no resolution and with no knowing what happens to the kids and the new kids after that. Like, there's no resolution. Like, what the heck? This is a time where the two-parter would have been so much good. Not just one part. This should have been a two-part episode, not one. This tale just feels incomplete. I'm sorry, but this is the worst episode of the season, and not only that, the worst of the series has to offer. Good premise, but just threw it all the way at the end. I'm sorry. It's just, yeah, they ruined it, in my opinion. Number 12, The Tale of Walker 22. At the time, I thought it was the worst episode of the season, but it's no Old Man Cochrane. Now, I do apologize if I did mispronounce the episode, but it is what it is. Back to Walker 22, though. The thing I will admit is that the story and the ghost are actually interesting, and it got me a little bit intrigued. However, that was the only thing I thought that was interesting. The characters are pretty much whatever. But it's not Hungry Hounds, at least, because that episode at least was completed. Or, well, it actually felt more understandable. Excuse me. This episode made me understand a lot more compared to Hungry Hounds. So, it does get some credit. But it is still one of the worst episodes, in my opinion. So, I have to at least give it credit. It didn't make number 13. It almost did, but that season finale just solidified with no resolution, with a twist that has no resolution whatsoever. They leave us on a huge cliffhanger with no resolution, even though all the episodes of now had a resolution. But Lucky 22 at least has a resolution. It's still not a good episode, but at least I would rather watch this tale compared to Old Man Cochrane. So there you go. Now on to the much more enjoyable episodes now of the season. Now we go to number 11, The Tale of the Frozen Ghost. Now, before I review this, Melissa Joan Hart is actually in this episode. She was actually famous in Calissa Explains It All at the time this episode was on. Pretty sure, because it is the 90s, so. And that is a Nickelodeon show overall, so. Pretty interesting she's in this. She was alright, though. Now, back to this tale, though. It's actually interesting. Uh, it shows that a family is not in the good position with money. And then this ghost, obviously, here, as you might see in this photo, it depends on the editing, is actually giving us a message of some sort. But it is a heartwarming tale. Now, my problem is it really didn't catch me as good as some of the other episodes from season 1. But it's not that bad. I did like this tale in the presentation, but I don't think it's that good. But I don't think it's that bad either. This is actually the first decent episode of season 2. Overall, I do like the tale, but not as good as the others. But I'd rather watch this over the other two listed in the season 2 favorites. So overall, okay. Now to number 10, The Tale of the Shiny Red Bicycle. This is very similar to the Frozen Ghost. So, without saying much about this one, it is once again the same situation. But here's why I rate this number 10 over 11. The characters actually shine a little bit more here. It's a very interesting tale, but once again, it's not bad. But the characters are a little bit better here, so I do like this a little better than the Frozen Ghost. It's not that bad. Maybe you like this a lot more, but it is up to you at the end of the day. But for me, better than the Frozen Ghost, but much more better episodes for season 2. But overall, the okay. Now on to the single digits. At number 9, The Tale of the 13-4. Overall, this were average. This were actually a lot more interesting than the other tales. The sets, the plot, and the characters are interesting. For me, it's definitely setting up to be a good episode. But I will admit this were a semi-blind reaction, but I don't think it's that bad. Honestly, it's mostly average. And maybe potentially the overall series. The aliens being explored in this episode is a nice idea. But I wonder if there's better ones. But overall, I did like this episode. But I was expecting maybe a little bit more, maybe. I'm not too sure, but I did like this tale. Just expected a little bit more, maybe. But overall, I do recommend checking this out. I think overall, I do like this a lot more than the others in season two. But honestly, there are better episodes, but I do like this tale. Not bad, but I do like this episode at least. The Tale of the Magician's Assistant. This came close to being a bit more of a higher pick on the season list, but it felt short, unfortunately. I was expecting a little bit more with this tale, but the one man I'll say, I like the ending and the magical characters in this episode shine a lot. This is one of the more interesting tales of the season. It came close, but it fell very short. I did expect a little bit more with this episode, but nevertheless, I still enjoyed it, but I wish something came more out of it. But still, a decent episode for this episode. I did it again. A decent tale for this episode. There you go. Now to the season 2 premiere. At number 7, we have The Tale of the Final Wish. Now, this is a semi-blind reaction, but I did like this episode overall. The ending is nice. Bit of a cliffhanger. Nice episode with the ideas. Very good arc. Well, an interesting arc with our protagonist. Overall, I actually like this episode. It's a little more better than the Magician's Assistant, but it's not the Phantom Cab where it was at number 11, I think, for season 1. I think it is a number 11, but it read number 7, though, on this list. So, wow. I think it might be a decently good episode, to be honest. I said it would be an alright episode, but it looks like I actually enjoyed this episode a lot more. So I will say, I do recommend checking this out for a season 2 premiere. I'm surprised it was kind of good. But overall, being number 7 is nice, but there are a little bit more episodes out there that definitely got me. But Final Wish, thumbs up. Not number 1, but still a good episode. On to the evil number 6, The Tale of the Hatching. I will admit, I am aware of this episode. It is semi-blind, but I pretty much figured out what's going on. But, in conclusion with this one, I liked it a lot. Honestly, though, arguably, I could have rated this higher. But, I don't know if watching this first would have been feeling a lot more special. I was aware of this plot. So, honestly, this gets an honorable mention to being number 1, but to be fair, my number 1 pick would have been not this one. So, number 6 will be a favorite one. I will admit, though, the girl was fantastic. She was potentially the best protagonist of this season. It actually is one of the darkest tales so far of the series, and for the season as well. The creative plot is nice. There is another tale I think that might be better, but I love this tale. I would say decently to good, I would say. But maybe good if I watched this the first time, maybe. Not number 1, but I like this tale, even though I was aware of it. So, good tale for number 6. Well, folks, we're on to the top 5 for season 2. What are the top 5 episodes that I enjoyed a lot throughout the season? Well, starting at number 5, The Tale of the Dream Machine. Now, Goosebumps has done this type of topic before with the movie, as well as the Blob That Ate Everyone. Here, though, it's actually a little bit different compared to those the book and the movie. In this version, the typewriter creates an actual story, and the story in the paper comes to life, but it's not real though. However, it's not really a dream machine. It's a story that happens at any time. If you do it while alive, though, it actually comes with a huge side effect. If you read the tale while awake, you may cause huge consequences. But if you're dreaming, that doesn't matter. It was actually a unique vibe for this tale, and I enjoyed the characters a lot. I was definitely hooked. I was semi-blind, but I was hooked. The Midnight Society gets a lot more interesting with this episode, too. Overall, great episode. I actually enjoyed the presentation with this tale, and I definitely enjoyed this a lot. A little bit more than the hatching, too, but yeah, I'm surprised how good this one was. Good pick for number 5. Now to number 4. We have an interesting tale this one. This is The Whispering Walls. This is a blind reaction. The ideas were fantastic. I love them. Now, there's something I want to mention about this one. The hallway set later on in the episode. It's a green hallway in the rooms. I actually dig the set for it. If it is a set, obviously. Overall, the plot was very interesting as well. The characters are nice too as well. I never seen this one, to be honest, as I said, but this were a great one for number 4 too. Wow. Like, I actually enjoyed this episode. Of course, though, there is a twist always with this episode, which I won't mention, but I did enjoy the vibe of this episode, and it was really nice for number 4 too, because I haven't seen this one. So, Whispering Walls, solid episode for season 2. Very nice. Now, this tale here, I got a lot to say about this one. This is actually something I really appreciate. It didn't make number 1, but it made a good enough number here. So at number 3, The Tale of the Midnight Madness. Now, if you've seen Last Action Hero, it's kind of similar to that, but it's actually a horror version of it. Dr. Vink actually comes back. He's the character from the Phantom Cab, and he actually shines a lot more here in this episode. So here's the plot. A feeder is currently dying. The feeder's not making enough money, and it's potentially closing. However, Dr. Vink offers up a movie, which is Nosferatu, but in this version, the villain wins instead of Jonathan Harker. I don't know if Jonathan Harker actually appeared in Nosferatu, but we'll just go with it because it did appear in the episode. The movie that Dr. Vink created in this version actually did really well to save the feeder. And he comes up with an offer to show his feeders once a week for free, no money. However, the deal goes a little bit off, unfortunately, and the movie starts coming to life. Yes, the movie comes to life. Nosferatu is the villain in this episode. A classic horror icon in an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. Sounds pretty neat, eh? Overall, it's your classic horror episode, a little mixed in with the old school, which is nice. I actually enjoy the characters too as well. It's a very interesting episode. It worked really well for a 30-minute episode. The dark twist is really nice too. I enjoyed this episode a lot. Imagine this were a movie. That would have been a lot more awesome. But for this episode, great idea, great execution. I enjoyed this tale a lot. It didn't make number 1, but it made number 3. The other 2, I'm going to say, actually surprised me a lot more than this one. But this is one of my favorite episodes of the season. So, great episode. I recommend checking this one out. We are close to the end. Well, we're at number 2. The Tale of the Full Moon. Surprisingly, this is actually a great episode. And just to let you know, this is actually the first anniversary that Frank has done a tale, which was the tandem of the Phantom Cab. But with this tale, this was awesome. The presentation was awesome. It gave us the bit of the detective feel, but what got me at the end was the twist. This is definitely one of the best episodes of season 2. It didn't make number 1, but it came close. There is a number 1 that I have chosen for this episode. But this is a great episode. One of the best that season 2 has to offer. Great episode. Holy moly. Everything about it was just so cool. Now, with that out of the way, here comes my number 1 pick for season 2. The Tale of the Dark Dragon. Now, I will admit, this is a weird one. Why would I rate this number 1? This legit caught me off guard. I'm surprised how well this tale had got me through to the end. Like, I was deeply invested. Like, the more I went, or not when, but the more I watched through this tale, the more I got more invested into these characters. Not only that, the story comes through full circle at the end. Now, the ending. This is why I wanted to rate this number 1. This ending had got me off guard. I thought it was going to end badly. But the moment I first watched this episode, that good ending just came through at the last second. And you'll see what I mean about the Dark Dragon when you watch this episode. This was one of the most unexpected but great episodes I have ever seen in the season. As much as I like Full Moon, this is number 1 because of that moment where the story comes through. But not only that, it got me so invested. And also that ending being very, very warning until the final moment in that episode. Like, holy moly. Honestly, these 2 episodes and Dark Dragon, well, not Dark Dragon, these 2 episodes, Full Moon and Dark Dragon, were awesome. I think Dark Dragon is slightly better because of that twist. And not only that, how investing the characters are. Like, something in Full Moon, you do get invested, but I think Dark Dragon actually does work effectively. So, Dark Dragon barely beats Full Moon at number 1. Wow. I can't believe it. We have reached the end of season 2. And my review of it as well. Overall, I think it's a good season. Well, I would say an alright season. The problem is, I think season 1 was better in terms of episodes, but season 2 brought us at least some hidden good ones. They were mostly okay, but there were a few bad ones compared to season 1, in my opinion. But overall, season 2 was fun to watch, but I do prefer the first season. So, overall, I did like some of the episodes in season 2, most of them being okay and a few bad, which definitely changed my opinion to the Hungry Hounds, as I stated earlier. But overall, I am liking the show. I do look forward to seeing season 3 and seeing what the tales are like. So with that out of the way, that is it for today's review. Please be patient because I might get this review up very soon. I am busy with DVD. I am doing some video stuff for DVD that I'm doing. So please be patient as I wait, get this video uploaded. I'll try to get it as soon as possible done and upload to you guys. Now with that out of the way, that is it. We will close on this note with me saying farewell to season 2. I hope you join me for my season 3 review as we tune in to the next set of tales. Until next time.